There's something magical about the first rain after a long, dry summer. It doesn't arrive with drama. There's no thunder, no storm, just a soft hush in the air, a cooling breeze, a sky painted in shades of slate and pearl. It was on one such evening that Lila stepped out of her small city apartment, umbrella in hand, ready to take her usual walk. She didn't mind the rain. It was gentle, barely more than a mist, the kind that smells like wet stone and sweet grass. She walked slowly, letting the cool droplets touch her cheeks, brushing past the blooming jasmine that had come to life with the change in weather. The city was quieter than usual. The cafes had dimmed their lights, and people had taken shelter indoors, leaving the cobbled streets glistening and empty. Except for one person. Ahead, under the shelter of a wide, leafy tree, stood a man, his back leaning against the trunk, one foot casually crossed over the other. He wasn't wearing a coat, and his hair was already damp with rain. But he didn't seem to mind. Lila almost passed him, her steps soft on the wet pavement, but something made her glance his way. He smiled. Not a bold smile. Just a quiet, kind one, the sort that feels familiar even if you've never seen it before. She hesitated. "You're the only person I've seen walking out here," he said gently, his voice almost blending with the patter of rain. "Nice night, isn't it?" Lila looked up at the soft gray sky, then back at him. "It is, actually. Peaceful." The man pushed off the tree and stepped forward, a little unsure. "I'm Ben," he said. "I usually come here to read, but the rain caught me." She smiled. "Leila, I like to walk in it." There was a moment of silence between them, but it wasn't awkward. It was comfortable, the kind of pause that says, "It's okay to just be here." Then, from a nearby cafe window, a song began to play, soft jazz, distant and dreamy. The music drifted out onto the street, wrapping the air in slow, swaying notes. Ben looked toward the sound, then back at Lila. "Would it be terribly strange," he asked, "if I asked you to dance?" She blinked. The rain fell a little harder now, but still gently, like a whisper. The idea was ridiculous, romantic, completely impractical. And yet, she nodded. Ben took a careful step forward and offered his hand. Lila placed hers in his, cool from the rain, warm from his touch. They moved slowly, uncertain at first, laughing quietly at their wet shoes and dripping sleeves. But then they found a rhythm, not perfect, but theirs. He guided gently, she followed, and soon they were turning in small circles under the canopy of the tree. Rain danced on the leaves above them, fell across their shoulders, and soaked into the sidewalk beneath their feet. Time slipped away, unnoticed. No one else was there. No one else needed to be. It wasn't about the dance. It was about the feeling, the ease of movement, the sound of rain, the comfort of connection. Minutes passed, or maybe longer. When the song ended, they didn't rush to speak. They just stood close, smiling at each other like they'd discovered something rare, something almost lost in the world. Finally, Lila said softly, "Thank you." Ben tilted his head. "For what?" "For making the rain feel like something out of a dream." He laughed, gentle and warm. "You're the one who made it magical." They didn't exchange numbers. They didn't promise anything. They just walked together for a while, beneath the soft gray sky, sharing stories that didn't need to be remembered, just felt. And when they reached the corner where their paths split, they paused. "Maybe I'll see you again," Ben said. Lila smiled. "Maybe the rain will know where to find us." And with that, they parted. The rain continued. The city glowed softly around them. And somewhere, Beneath a tree still dripping from the sky, the music still echoed, not in notes, but in memory. Because sometimes all it takes is a little rain, a quiet smile, and one slow dance to remind us that beauty doesn't need to last forever. It just needs to be felt for a moment.